a good one there coming from Ekese Brempon right here on the iMDRIVE. We're just about to get into a ManCode Series. Remember, you can join us. We'll be live on Facebook, also on YouTube, and you can watch us on Sunny TV.
World where men carry so much. Every now and then, they need a moment to breathe, connect, and be refreshed. Join Sunny FM for ManCode Festival, the ultimate men's hangout, happening Saturday, June 28th at the Alisa Pavilion from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a space for men to unwind, reflect, and recharge. Come and enjoy authentic, thought-provoking ManCode conversations, buffet lunch, comprehensive free health screenings, including blood pressure and blood sugar checks, body mass index assessment, prostate health consultation for early registrants, dental checkup, professional cleaning, fun games and exciting activities with great prizes, all in a laid-back brotherly atmosphere filled with good vibes and great people. Rate 1,250 Ghana cedis. Special discounts are available for men's groups and fellowships. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 or 0243 664623. Registration closes on June 25th. Bring your brother, your dad, your son, a mentor, or that father figure who's made an impact in your life. Come, celebrate the strength, the journey, and the bond of men at ManCode Festival. Brought to you by Sunny FM with support from Fidelity Bank, Kinsman Shoes, Star Bites, J. Ray Gatti Fashion House, Ezel Fashion, Beaver Health Group.
We're just about to get on to our ManCode series. We want to say a big thank you to our sponsors who came through for us on Friday to say an early Father's Day to some fathers who walked in. First of all, to Starbucks, thank you so much for coming through. Some ladies sent me a message, said, oh, but my husband too is a father. We didn't get Starbucks. We'll talk about that. Again, also to Tang Palace. I think there was also Jandu Place.
There's Jandu
Yes,
Place.
yes.
There's
La Palm as well.
Royal Beach Hotel as well.
Thank you so much for helping us honor our men in a very special way. For the first time ever as a station, Sunny 88.7 FM. I think we're just about to go on, but just before we get into our series this morning, real estate is a very key part of every wealth portfolio, and that's why you need to make a point to own some. Apollonia City is offering you an opportunity to own premium plots of land, and these are competitive prices up to 3-year payment plan, and their service lands come with access to water and electricity. There's tarred road, solar powered street lights. You have access to high-speed internet and so much more. For those of you on the lookout for a home to buy, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom home to choose from, you can speak to our friends at Apollonia, and they're ready to take you on a tour. Call them on 0275 577 577 0275 577 577. Over to you, Ajimai.
Right here, Sunny 88.7. We're live on Sunny TV right now. We're live on our social media platforms as well. Sunny 88.7 FM and also live on YouTube. Now, this morning, our guest is Patrick Otieku-Boadu. And we're going to be talking about a very, very important thing. I find myself somehow, Jenny, in this conversation. We're looking at the father wound, healing from absentee and abusive fathers. And I'm saying this because, Jenny, when I saw the flyer, it brought me back to an incident that happened. My dad and my mom divorced very early. And so we had to go through the struggle of a single mother and nurse. There were 7 of us. Okay. And one time in secondary school, I had to go to my dad for school fees. Okay. My mom was too tight. 3 of us were in the secondary school together. And so I go to my dad in Kumasi, from Kumasi High School, and his house was at Stadium. And I waited for my dad all the way from the morning in the compound. Okay. And my stepmother, who was married to my dad then, said, oh, you wait. So I sat in the compound from morning, and I sat till about evening, till my dad came. I was hungry. Wow. I was thirsty. She won't let me in. And my dad arrived, and he saw me and said, I'm coming. And he went inside, and he didn't come back again. And my stepmom came and said, you can go. You can just threw some transport fare at me and said, you can go. Now, Jenny, this thing probably has worried me my entire life. It did hurt me badly, so badly. That day, I think the money couldn't even take me back to school. So a good Samaritan saw me along the way. I mean, I was just trekking back from Stadium to Jinyase. It's such a long journey. It's from maybe Circle to maybe Medina or something. And then, and I was walking. And he saw me. He said, hey, because I was wearing my school uniform. Are you going to Jinyase? I said, yes. And he took me, some pastor. And I think he bought me a couple of things. I told my story. And he will come and check on me from time to time. But this thing stayed with me for so long, Patrick. I mean, it stayed with me for so long that at the point before I got married, my mom said, reconcile with your dad. Go to him. Tell him all that is bothering you. Because you can't get married without your dad's blessing. I didn't understand. I mean, it took a battle before we drove from Accra to Kumasi into Mampong, where he had retired. And we both cried. I mean, he said, it's not me. I simply could not manage all of you. It was too much for me. I made a mistake. My mom was there. My wife was there, blessed us and all. And then he passed, I think, a couple of months later. There's this wound, okay, that is created, Patrick. I don't know. I'm sure you've met a lot of men who you've sat down with a lot of men who may have gone through some form of abuse, some form of what they call maybe an ill treatment from a father. When you sit down with them, I mean, what are some of the silent struggles you see? I mean, in these men, what do they deal with that is worth talking about?
You started on a very positive side, but positive
Yeah.
note, but I think it's in order. When people are abused,
Patrick, can we have you closer to your microphone?
when people are abused,
Much better.
I just picked some statistics from the American Psychological Association. When the Ghana one, it wasn't too coherent. People who are abused are 4 times more likely to be aggressive and violent. What it means is that now whether a father is violent or is abusive towards a child, you are creating a similar potential danger for the next generation.
Okay, I'm getting a message that says volume all, so I think we just need to do some quick adjustments.
Okay.
Yes. All right.
If we abuse somebody who is abused, we are actually creating a society. We are creating potential danger for the next generation, because that particular person is going to come into society, marry, have children, and create similar situations for other people. Okay. Now, again, people who are people who are abused are more likely to have anxiety problems and depression problems as well. I believe the narration that you've given to us, you probably felt fear, felt unsure of yourself. There were emotional dynamics going on. There was you didn't feel confident in yourself, because you'd probably be wondering, why is it that I go to school, my other colleagues have parents, they talk about their dad provides for them. I believe, from what you're saying, maybe your father didn't even visit you in school.
Hardly.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you are comparing yourself, and at that stage, you compare yourself to other people, other children. And you say, why do they have this and I don't have that? Why are their parents coming, daddy coming to visit them, and daddy's not coming to visit me? Something will be missing in your life. And therefore, it will either make you a better person or a bitter person based on the interpretation you give to that relationship. So if you see the situation and you don't get help, then you are likely to grow up to become a bitter person. And if you're a bitter person, remember, all the circle of people around you are going to be impacted by those, whether your spouse, your work colleagues, and sometimes little things happen and then people are triggered and we don't know where they are coming from. It's all because sometimes some of these traumatic experiences have not been dealt with. Let's look at people again, other people who were absentee fathers. They say they are 2 times more likely to drop out of school. They are 3 times more likely to be in juvenile detention. They are, as for identity and self-esteem, it's a constant. And then also higher rate of sexual activity and criminal behavior at a very early age. There was a day I was in the court at Tafo, Achim Tafo, and there was this 18-year-old boy who had gone to steal somebody's, money, and his brother was sentenced to 2 years. Actually, there were 2 cases, so two such situations. And when it was being sent, the judge said, "Where is where are the parents?" And the prosecutor couldn't answer that question. He said, "Oh, he lived with the grandfather." And the grandfather said he can't take care of him again, so the state should take him away and lock him up. Now, when I was sitting down in that court, the question I was asking myself is that if this young boy goes to prison and comes back, what kind of person is he going to be?
Yeah.
You see, so it's something that we need to take seriously, and this is from the church angle, from educational angle, from even our offices. And I'm happy to recommend what you are Men Cave, right?
Yes.
Where people can come and express themselves and not feel intimidated or feel ashamed for being who they are. Now, what you went through, you didn't subscribe to that. It happened to you. You don't have control over some of these things. In life, there are things you don't have control over. There are things you can influence, and there are things you have control over. So anything you don't have control over, in such a situation, somebody brought you into this world, and the person is not available to take care of you. It's not available to give you the kind of love you need. Well, when you were a child, maybe you were impacted, but now that you have grown, the interpretation you give to it. So if you say that, that man is a wicked man and this and this and this, you are likely not to forgive. You are likely to hold on to that pain. There's something interesting about your brain. Your brain cannot store 2 states at the same time. So when you have pain in your brain and you can list lessons, very strong lessons about what you have gone through, the lessons replace or displace the pain, because the pain and the lesson cannot stay in your brain at the same time. And most of the time people, so for instance, in the case of your father, you probably could say that, look, this man didn't know what he was doing. Indeed, this man didn't have what it took. And the man maybe wasn't even, make some excuses for him. He wasn't even matured, so that you will have your sanity and live your life. Again, if you can also replace or displace the pain with a purpose. Because you see, if you take the case of Joseph was sold by his brothers. He was in pain. So at the end of the day, the brothers met him, and they were afraid that Joseph was going to revenge. You know what he said? He said, no, you guys thought it evil, but no, God sent me ahead of you to preserve your lives. So what Joseph did was to actually displace the pain with a purpose. Okay, so when we have 2 things, when we have a strong lesson or we have a list of lessons of what we have gone through, because it's actually, sometimes even the lessons were supposed to build you. It's made you a better person. Today, I sit in front of people, I'm counseling people, I sit in front of them, and they are sharing things with me, and I'm laughing in my head. You know why? Because I've gone through it. Okay. It's a lesson. So once I have the lesson, it displaces the pain. Will I remember the issue? Yes, I'll remember, but the intensity of the pain reduces, and then I hold on to the lesson. Now, it makes me wiser. So tomorrow, when I'm helping someone, when I'm counseling someone, in my own life, relationship with my spouse and my children, I approach it with that wisdom. But if I don't do that, then I'll be walking in bitterness. And obviously, when I walk in bitterness, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create multiple of that pain in other people.
So is that what is it the bitterness that brings the cycle where there's a young man grew up with maybe an absentee father, an abusive father, was not happy that was the home he was brought up in, angry at the dad, says, I'm never going to be like my dad.
Yes.
And then marries and he's exactly like his dad. What is that thing? What is it?
No, because you see, it wasn't dealt with. First of all, a lot of people don't even accept it, that they have a problem, they have a challenge. So the first thing we have to do is that accept it. That yes, it didn't go well, and I'm happy you said you went to your dad and you spoke with your dad and all that. Sometimes let's sit down with these people if we can, if they are available, if they are alive. Let's sit down with them. If not, it's okay. Sit down and then tell yourself that, well, this is what the man did, but the man is not here. The man is gone. Or the man is unavailable. What do I have to do with my life? That's what somebody said, that it is not your fault when you are born poor, but it's your fault when you remain poor. It is not your fault when you were brought up in a family and you went through that pain. But it's your fault when you continue in that pain. When you continue living like somebody who is indeed, continuing in that trauma. And that is why you need experience. You need to get help. If you feel it's bothering you, and of course you need to get help. And I think that is why the Man Cave issue comes in here, where people can come together, men can come together and share things, talk about issues, and not be afraid.
And talking about getting help, Patrick, what makes it so hard for men who are struggling with these wounds to open up about the experiences? For us women, we can be drinking coffee and we can talk. We can be at the washroom and we're talking. We just talk. But we can see that it's different. What is it that makes it hard?
I think a number of things. Number one is our cultural orientation. So when you are going through problems, society say, you are too weak. You are too whatever. So from that perspective, men want to be macho men and supermen. So we don't want to show that we are struggling, we are suffering. And unfortunately, that is actually creating problems. I had a situation where the lady, both of them are pastors, and then the lady contacted me and said that I should come and talk to the children because the children are planning to beat the father.
Wow.
So, beat? Yes. So when I stepped in, this is what had happened. This man, talking about the father, the day he was born, the father said, I'm not interested, left. The mother said, okay, if you're not interested, I'm also not interested, went to drop the mother with the grandmother. From that time, it was the grandmother who raised this guy. This guy has been bitter all these years, and he got married, and relationship has been terrible ever since. To the extent that it got to a place where the children have also going through so much pain that they are willing to attack their father.
So, if I'm getting the story, this is the grandchildren.
No, Jenny, this is a father who was brought up by the grandmother.
Grandmother.
Now he's also,
He has children of his own.
Children are now rising up against him.
And I was telling the wife that you are asking for something from this man that he hasn't got. He hasn't got it. I tried to work with him. I work with a lady, but I tried to work with him. No, he wouldn't even budge. He wouldn't even talk to me.
Wow.
Yes. I went to the office a number of times. He said, no, he's okay. And everybody knows he's not okay. Some of the things he does is not normal. But he says it's okay. It's all because he's either been numb. You see, Dr. Porges says something. He said that there are 3 states we can live in. The first state is when you feel safe. And when you feel safe, you are like the eagle. You see all possibilities. And the first thing you do is you connect with people. You are nice with people. I feel safe with Jenny. I'm willing to stay in the same environment with her for whatever number of hours or whatever, drink and do whatever. Because I feel safe.
And call me Bishop Wa. He calls me Bishop Wa.
But the moment I don't feel safe with you, I drop into what we call mobilization. That is where I am willing to fight. I am willing to be aggressive because I know my right and I must stand on my right and I need my right of way. So I need to stand on my ground. So I go into combat. And there are children like that, or there are fathers like that today who, because of the fact that they didn't feel safe in their childhood, they are combative. They have gone into that combat mode. There are some other people who may not go into the combative mode, but they withdraw. They become like the tortoise. They become like the tortoise and they withdraw. So they are quiet. Something happens, they are quiet. Sometimes even in their marriage, you're asking them to talk, conversation, they won't talk. Because we feel that when they talk, they're actually going to attract your wrath, and those issues are going to come back again, and they want to avoid it. They've shelved it somewhere, they want to avoid it. They haven't actually dealt with it, they haven't come to a closure. But they just don't want to talk about it. It's okay if it lies dormant, So these are some of the things that we need to be able to work on. But I think that all of us must ensure that when we're dealing with people, it's about questioning, do we make them feel safe? How do we make our children feel safe? Do we make our spouses feel safe? And things like that, very, very crucial.
It's the ManCode Series right here on the iMDRIVE. We're joined by Mr. Patrick Otieku-Boadu, sharing some deep stuff. And today we're talking about healing from absentee and abusive fathers. We're talking about men who have had to grow up in such an environment. They are men in their own capacity now. Some have families, some have children. What is the impact on them, and how can they move on? How can they find healing? Ajimai.
Jenny, I think one thing that was synonymous with Man Cave, the first edition, was that shocked me, happened to be how these men opened up. There were a lot of crying. That was shocking. To the extent that I think by popular request, we went back into the session again when we were supposed to be having fun. We said, you know what, can we go back and wrap this up? Because per our structure of time, we were done. Patrick, to the man who really wants to change things, but mostly what I find is they don't even know where to begin, where to start, how to do it. Because I realized at Man Cave, everybody was all pumped up. But when they went back home, they're going back to the same environment and the same routines they're doing. So it's likely most of these men will just go back. Where do these men start?
Let's start from, first of all, forgiveness. Forgive yourself and forgive everybody else. Now, forgiveness is not a feeling. Forgiveness is a decision you make. I need to make the decision. Why? Because it's holding me back. It's preventing me from moving forward. It's impacting my mental health. And therefore, I need to make a decision. Now, I think I shared with Jennifer the other time that some experiment have been conducted about what we call muzzle testing, where there's a particular thought in your mind. They test your muzzle. You use high-level calibration to test your muzzle, and they have certain numbers for it. And then some numbers, some things like shame, that is the lowest. Something like pride, something like anger, they weaken you. So when you have these things in you, anger, sadness, fear, hate, guilt, these things ultimately they weaken you, because every cell in your body eavesdrop on your thought. So when your thought says that I am angry, I am sad, I am depressed, whatever, it sends a signal to your whole system, and your system is weakened. On the other hand, when you move into a place, a higher level of forgiveness, of patience, of love, of joy, you are strengthened. Your muscles become stronger. The lower part is associated with diseases. The upper part is associated with health. So I think that the first thing we need to do as men, learn to forgive. Forgive yourself, forgive other people, and then you can move on from there.
I want to find out, for instance, you gave us an example of a man who needs help. Everybody around him sees he needs help. He says, I'm fine. His spouse is suffering. His children are suffering. What do you do? I mean, if you're a spouse in this situation, I mean, it can feel like you're at your wit's end. What can one do if they find themselves in such a position?
I think that, we still need to have hope and continue pushing, using all the available means, to people they respect, let them talk to them. If they will open up to psychological help, let's do that for them. Counseling, therapy, let's do that for them. But if all these things fail, and especially when the person is violent, physically violent, please, that one, I'll subscribe that you talk to your pastor, you talk to your lawyers, and then maybe see some kind of a separation. Because as for when it comes to physical, it's something else altogether. That one, I will subscribe that the court will have to come in, and then we separate you, legally, because we don't want anybody to die on our hands. That is number one. And like I said, but if the person is not physical and the person needs help and the person can get help, let's do everything possible to secure that help for the person. Sometimes I think that we can approach it from a place of friendship, just as you guys are doing. We are not saying that you are not diseased.
Come for therapy.
Ghana, when we say come for therapy, then it means I am sick. No. Let's make it fun. Let's make it exciting, so that when people come there, sometimes they come and somebody shares his story. Like these people who are this drunkards. What's the name? What does it call it? These people who are drunkards, and they come together and they give them.
There's a something group, focus group, or something.
Yes, something like that.
Okay.
A similar thing. When somebody shares a story and you realize, oh, so this person has gone through this. He's even worse than me. Then we can relate, and then we can help each other, and then we can talk and help each other.
I think, Jenny, I mean, that kind of brotherhood, systems, and that's what I want to ask, because you find men who probably know they need help, but then we're in a society where, as men, maybe your friends, that you fall in are sort of pushing you in a particular direction. You're not in the right kind of brotherhood. Because one thing I saw at Man Cave was this distinction. There were men that we saw were clearly in the area of that they needed help. But other men were sharing how they have sort of approached and gone over this, similar situation. And I remember I was sharing with the men how, first and foremost, my mother made me, cross over this point. A man was asking, my father is gone.
What do I do? I
couldn't forgive him. He probably couldn't forgive me. And so that guilt of maybe I should have done that is there. I mean, for people like you, how do you help men? I mean, is it okay to just book therapy, come and sit down with you and just talk? Because men find it so difficult to say, well, I'm calling Mr. Otieku-Boadu. I'm calling him. I need to sit down with him. How important is meeting people like you for men?
I was in an office. I mean, there's a very big financial institution. I was with the CEO, and he tells me, "Oh, I've been going for therapy with my wife." I'm like, "Hey, these people also go for therapy."
But I think we need to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
We need to be vulnerable. Like all the supermen, super whatever, it's a real affecting us. The kind of cultural environment, it's affecting us. So, but you need help. And you know the impact whatever you are going through is having on yourself and your children and your work environment and all that. So you need to seek help. In fact, today there are even psychometric tests you can run that will bring out, your personality, your potential, we don't call it weakness, we call it areas of development, so that we can have a whole plan for it. Could be a year's plan where every month we engage you, we work with you, and then you help you. First of all, you become aware of your situation. We make you aware of your situation. We can even take a step further for us to get feedback from people around you, your spouse, your children. This is how they see you. This is how they look at you. Are you comfortable with that? You get what I'm saying? Then from there, we can take this and say, what is the plan that we can put in place for you, for us to be able to help you? Sometimes we may have to do some course on emotional intelligence. Sometimes we have to be a little bit assertive or whatever. These are things that we can put a plan together for you and work with you over a period of time, so that you become a better person, because your personal development, your mental health is your responsibility.
Jenny, I want to find out, briefly about the role of the wife, the role of the people around these men. How will a wife who clearly know now that my husband need help, and sometimes you find that they are the ones escalating the whole situation. I came from this system, but I met a wife who came from a strong family system. They meet, they have a WhatsApp page, they talk. When somebody has an issue, they call and stuff. And I began to pick up, I began to learn, from this. What's the role of the wife, the children that such a man falls within?
I think we need to look at the situation as the person needs help. I don't want to call it, it's actually a dis-ease, some form of a dis-ease. And I'm using the word carefully. It's a dis-ease. So we need to be able to approach it like somebody who needs help, somebody who is sick. And I'm not saying it derogatory. I'm just saying so that we are approached. Sometimes maybe spouses do not also help by also attacking the person, making it worse, and sometimes bringing the worst in the person. But when we approach this whole thing as somebody who needs help, and therefore the way we approach the person, the way we talk to the person, sometimes let's change our approach too. Maybe every day we are shouting on the person, and go and look for go and look for a therapist, go and look for this thing. No, and then the guy will say, "I'm not going." But when we approach it with love and with concern and with care, spelling out the potential over the period, what has happened, the impact that has happened, and all that, then I believe that. And like I said, these days, because of the psychometric tools, you should be able, it's very easy for you to run a test for you to objectively notice that, okay, this is what I have, this is what I feel, this is what I am likely to do if I don't correct these things. And based on that, we can plan a development, personal development plan for you.
This is great. So the test you're talking about, is this something that is done, you can get the results instantly?
Instantly.
Fantastic.
The last time we met, I did it for
for the mothers lifting mothers. Yes, I have to submit myself for that psychometric thing. No, I have to before
Bishop
the end of the Senior Bishop Priscilla has been watching with us. Good morning, Priscilla. She was asking where are the men. Eugene said we are here, Paluki. We're saying the men want to talk, so they're watching, but they may not say much.
It's always low key for the men.
Yeah.
But Jenny, I think this is where ManCode Festival comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the 28th. I think for most of the women, this is where it will begin for you. I remember when we spoke to Michael Ohinefa here, Michael insisted you need to have Patrick over there.
He did.
And Jenny, I think we have to, if Patrick will get the time to be around on the 28th, because I think it's about time men see things beyond maybe the normal, that there's scientific ways to approach things now, seek help as a man. It was very lovely when Patrick, we saw men bantering on table tennis, playing. It was so fun, playing video games and stuff, just talking. It was fun. And I hope that if you're listening, give this as a gift to your husband to begin a journey of being a better man for you, better man for the children.
A gift that he doesn't know he needs.
A gift he doesn't know he needs. I think for us men, mostly it's very difficult. I mean, yesterday I shared with Vicky that a lady called to book one of our breakfast events for Father's Day, and he said, you know what, my husband will not listen to anybody unless they are these kind of people. And at the event too, he needs to sit at a certain place to feel, because he's a big man, to feel important about himself. Otherwise, he doesn't come. But I think I want him to come and listen to the stuff. Ajima, can you do this for me? I said, it's fine. First and foremost, these are the people who are coming. He said, okay, that one is fine for me. And we'll put him with Uncle Lebo and the others on their table. And he said, it's very difficult for some men to open up to therapy, to help and all of that. So, I mean, let's begin with this. They'll have fun. All right.
Let's change the name. Instead of Kobe, we say tilapia. It gets more value. So instead of this, I'll call it a different name.
I agree, right? I agree.
And it helps.
Ajimai, I think we'll task you, men who will go into your men-only space, to give us another name for therapy.
We'll look at that.
I think so after that.
No, Jenny, we can discuss this. I think it's very
another
important.
Name.
We can discuss this.
Yeah. Maybe you don't like mental health. Find us another name so we don't say.
And sometimes I think again the approach. For instance, you can do a very solid corporate program, and in there embed some of these things.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if a guy came to me, I'd written a book on a particular topic, and I say, young man, this book will not sell. You're attacking. So I said, what if you have this book and it's a chapter within the book? It makes sense. So sometimes that is how we approach it. Okay, have a corporate, and they're coming for a corporate program, very, very hard. And then in there's embedded mental health.
Yeah.
When it comes to mental health, we talk about all these things. And you are sitting down, you are captive. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so Ajima, if you can run through how people can get the
So let me run
tickets
through
also,
quickly. To register, you call or send a WhatsApp to 0545 223324. That number you mostly speak to JJD, all right? 0545 223324. Douglas is also on standby on 0243 664623. Again, it's 0243 664623.
All right, so you can send a WhatsApp, and we are looking forward to having as many men benefit from this program. For us, it's more than just an event we're putting together. We're looking at the impact it's going to make in the lives of these men. Ajima is on standby to also speak with you. We have group discounts. I think yesterday we were talking to a couple of people. So for the ministries out there, we're looking at helping the men in your ministry. I mean, for some transformation you're looking for, as Patrick said, don't come and say, hey, Mukoje therapy. It's a good time for them to hang out, and then they also get to talk. So there are some group discounts available, 10, 5 men, 15, 20. You can also speak with Ajimai.
All righty, so 0558 301006. 0558 301006.
And it's 1,250 per person. Let me just run you through some of the tests. So we're going to be having a health screening, Ajimai. I think it's such a powerful thing that Beaver Health is going to be doing for us. It's such a tall list when we requested for it yesterday. They're going to be running a free dental screening for you. There's dental cleanings. Some of you you don't consider your teeth as part of the things you pay attention to. But maybe as you're coming from ManCode, you can have some dental cleaning done. They said tooth extraction. I don't know whether if I were a man, I want to come from ManCode and have tooth extraction. But
I beg you, I have a tooth extraction to do.
Because that tooth there, I don't know whether you can eat the buffet at Alisa. Maybe you have to eat the buffet before you have. There'll be full blood count tests, fasting blood sugar, lipid profile, liver function tests, your kidney, hepatitis, prostate specific antigen, and many others. Also, we have iExpress will be running some tests as well. So it's like a full. How do I put it? It's like having a bouquet of things happening for you as you're coming for ManCode Fest.
Jen, let me stress that Erema Medical Center is also offering 10 prostate screening for the first registrants, as well. So be sure to jump in on this and get it for free. It's quite a costly test to do. So this is also coming for free. Friday. So Jennifer, yesterday I was at Adisa.
Okay.
I mean, we sat with a team at Alisa to see how from the pavilion to the bistro and lounge we can merge it together to create a very good space for the men. You know the bistro has a whole lounge area.
Beautiful lounge area.
The green grass area is where we want to put our table tennis. We want to put, other stuff. Now, part of the pavilion is going to be our game centers and other stuff where some of our sponsors who are coming would also display. And they're saying they're throwing a banquet for men who are going to be there. So it's not going to be it's a full 3-course plus whatever that is coming with it. So Alisa is ready. I mean, we met to look at all these. So, hey, give us a call and let's do this together.
All right, Patrick, thank you so much, a.k.a. Bishop. Thank you so much for coming through this morning. We definitely look forward to having you again. Let me mention that tomorrow, Uncle Ebo will also be our guest on ManCode Series. He'll be touching on aging gracefully. Uncle Ebo can do all sorts of things 20-year-old men can do at his age.
Uncle is 70.
I know.
And he says he does a 500 push-up with his boys,
Uncle,
and they can't even go 500.
Will you do some of the push-up for us tomorrow? Because we want to see how you've been aging gracefully. So definitely make it a date. Make a date with us tomorrow. Let me just share some feedback we had from last year's ManCode. Yeah.
My experience is actually a very nice one, but personally I want the time to be extended, especially for the men cave. Yes, I think it was short. There was a lot for us to learn, but the time was quite not long. So if the time can be extended, and we've learned a lot actually. Personally, I felt it's divine for me to be here because I actually have some few things I was battling with pertaining to forgiveness, but what I've noticed, I think I'm letting go of a lot of things. So,
well, I think the program was good, and this is my first time coming to such a program. And as a brother of mine said, the caveman activity. That is, the time was too short. So I believe next time, if it could be extended, it will be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Wonderful program. I pray that this program is one of its kind, and I also like the DJ very well because he has changed the atmosphere. Mr. MC Tomap, and God richly bless you all for such a wonderful program. I pray that I will not miss a program like this. I also thank God for the speakers, so wonderful, and a word of encouragement, a word that will make marriages sweet and sweeter, and if I can borrow the word, sweetest. Oh, okay. So we are going to practice what we have learned here and put them into our marriages. And I pray that, and I know our marriages will do better and more sweeter and sweetest.
I think it's a fine program. It's a nice program. I've enjoyed it. Especially the games, we will accumulate, going through the games, and I think it's exciting. The networking. I was speaking to a pastor that I've seen on telly, yes, and I think the experience meeting the pastor here and talking to him, yeah. It's a good program, yeah. Okay. For the first time, coming all the way from Bukas to this place, not easy, but I think I like it. I like it.
So my name is Kweku Lati-Oben. I heard about the program through my wife. In fact, I was out of the country last week, or last 2 weeks, and she told me that there's this program, I'm interested in it. And I go like, no, I'm not interested because I'm having a very busy week the week before, and I want to sleep today at home. And when I came back to Ghana, I said, oh, she has already bought the ticket. I said, okay, then I will have to be there. So it was through my wife I got to know about this program. Oh, I'm very happy. I'm grateful to my wife for buying me the ticket. It's because sometimes we make ourselves too busy. Because today I would have been at home sleeping. But I think I have benefited more from this program than sleeping at home. Yes.
Did you go through the medical checkup?
Yes, I did. So early this year, I had some medical challenges. By God's grace, everything is fine. So what I went through today confirmed that my body is doing good. Yeah.
I'm glad you came.
Yes.
The Man Cave conversation, what did you glean from it?
I think it's not often that we get men talking about men or talking with men about issues, right? I like the format whereby it was real life cases. I was there in the morning and we read about 3 different scenarios or 3 different stories about what men are going through, and we advised on how we'll go about it. The interesting thing is that even though it's a story being read to us, I'm very sure that some of us are facing the same situation. So even though we think we are talking and advising somebody who's not in the room, for all you know, there might be more in the room who took the advice we gave ourselves.
Yes. In a world where men carry so much, every now and then they need a moment to breathe, connect, and be refreshed. Join Sunny FM for ManCode Festival, the ultimate men's hangout, happening Saturday, June 28th at the Alisa Pavilion from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a space for men to unwind, reflect, and recharge. Come and enjoy authentic, thought-provoking ManCode conversations, buffet lunch, comprehensive free health screenings, including blood pressure and blood sugar checks, body mass index assessment, prostate health consultation for early registrants, dental checkup, professional cleaning, fun games and exciting activities with great prizes, all in a laid-back brotherly atmosphere filled with good vibes and great people. Rate 1,250 Ghana cedis. Special discounts are available for men's groups and fellowships. To register, call or WhatsApp 0545 223324 or 0243 664623. Registration closes on June 25th. Bring your brother, your dad, your son, a mentor, or that father figure who's made an impact in your life. Come, celebrate the strength, the journey, and the bond of men at ManCode Festival. Brought to you by Sunny FM with support from Fidelity Bank, Kinsman Shoes, Star Bites, J. Ray Gatti Fashion House, Ezel Fashion, Beaver Health Group.